Lattice Medical is a clinical stage company specialized in innovative solutions for reconstructive surgery. Our lead product is in the breast cancer. It's the first cancer in the world for women, it touches 1 woman on 8. And we have, for the cancer treatment, 650,000 mastectomy every year in Europe and US. And the reconstruction cost is high. It's $67,000 for a reconstruction, a full reconstruction and overall costs. We have different techniques to reconstruct a breast. Breast implant is the gold standard. We use silicone implant. It's the long-term material with a leading complication in the long term. And you need to replace it every 10 years. And on the other side, you have autologous surgeries such as flap or lipofilling. It's iterative or highly invasive, leading to back pain and loss of strength. Women are looking for a natural way to reconstruct a breast, less invasive and long-lasting. So that's why we have introduced Lattice. Lattice is a tissue engineering chamber allowing the regeneration of autologous adipose tissue, restoring the breast volume. Lattice is a degradable implant leading to a natural feeling after reconstruction. And it's a 1-hour surgery instead of 4 hours in standard flap procedures. Here is a video of the operative technique. In this example, this woman had a full mastectomy on the left breast. And for the reconstruction, the entryway is in the submammary fold. The surgeon will harvest a fat flap just below the breast between the 7th and 8th intercostal area. It's a fat flap of fat, 80 to 100 cc of fat. And the fat will be inserted into Lattice. Lattice is in 2 parts. The bottom layer is called the scaffold, and we fix the tissue with 6 stitches. And then we close with the chamber. The chamber can have different size and shape thanks to 3D printing. It's introduced in a prepectoral plane. We fix it on the chest, and we close the wound. And during 3 to 6 months, the tissue inside will regenerate, filling slowly the inner part of the implant. In the meantime, it's resorbing. After all, the patient gets back a new breast with her own tissue and without any device in the body. We have incorporated Lattice Medical 7 years ago with myself, 2 medical doctors and plastic surgeon from Lille Hospital in the north of France. We are 25 in the company and surrounded with key opinion leaders in the plastic surgery area. And we have also retained experts in the reimbursement and regulatory. We have already raised 20 million in 2 rounds, seed and Series A, and we have operations in US and France. We succeed in the past on all preclinical data. Here is a summary of our large animal study on pigs. We use the MRI to check the volume regeneration. So in this example, you see the initial tissue on the left. In 90 days, in this example, the tissue regenerates and fill in the inner part. And on this curve, you have the kinetics. It takes almost 6 months to reach a maximum volume. And after a 2-year survey, after the full resorption of the device, the tissue is stable and it's highly reproducible. Thanks to these results, we have been granted to start last year a first-in-human study. It's called the TIDE study for women eligible to breast reconstruction after a total mastectomy. It's a safety and performance study involving 50 patients of 3 years follow-up in France and Spain. And we work with the best European key opinion leaders for that in Paris, Lille, Strasbourg, and Barcelona. Here is a first perspective of our first results on a 1-year follow-up. We have 1 hour of surgery instead of 4 in standard flap procedures, low pain, and a wound closure in 40 days. This example, it's a 63-year-old woman. She had a full mastectomy on the right breast, so this is before the surgery. We used the MRI 7 days after to make the initial statement of the size of tissue. 3 months after, we show an increase in tissue size, a double of size in only 3 months. And after 1 year, the implant has no sensation of implant after 6 months, and it disappears from the MRI, confirming the resorption, and the patient gets a full reconstruction with a own tissue at the end and without any device in the body. Our product franchise is protected by a strong IP, 3 different patent families with 13 patents at a total, granted in US, Europe, and Brazil, the key geographic areas, and a coverage until 2040. And we have also an innovative way to produce the device. We have done our own printing farm from the raw material extrusion on the left, 3D printing. So we make the raw material extrusion to the filament. The filament is loaded behind the 3D printers, and each printer are able to produce each implant from our different range. We have a project also in patient-specific, and it's ISO certified in clean room, etc., etc. Thanks to IP and platform, we have different products in development. Lattice for the breast reconstruction and breast aesthetics, Rodin for the deep wound damage and reconstruction, and Noelis for the tissue reinforcement. The total addressable market for Lattice is 3.5 billion, divided in 2 sub-markets, breast reconstruction and breast augmentation. 3 key geographic areas: US, first in value and volume, Europe and Brazil. And the breast implant market has industry leaders. It's a growing market with a high request on alternative solution to silicone. Our business and revenue model is based on a first reimbursement strategy in breast reconstruction, the reduction of surgery costs. First of all, the resorption of device means less complication and a long time and no replacement of implant like silicone. It's a 3 hours reduction surgery time instead of flap standard surgery. And waiting for the reimbursement, we can also have a cash pay revenue in the cosmetic application of Lattice, with a premium product strategy pricing reaching high margin. And we are also looking for licensing opportunity in the landscape to be connected with industrial leaders to start the sales, to reach a 38 million revenue by 2030. So finally, what's our development and request here? Thanks to the Series A, we have launched the pre-market clinical investigation in Europe, the TIDE study. In the meantime, we are in the pre-submitting process and clinical design in US. We want to raise a Series B of 45 million in order to launch a PMA clinical investigation in US involving 325 patients in all breast reconstruction indication, including medico-economic criteria to get the reimbursement. In parallel, we will have the CE mark in 2026, recruiting the sales and starting the sales in Europe, and reimbursement study in European soil for the breast reconstruction application. And then a budget to increase our production capacity on our 3D printing factory. So to summarize, we are looking for 45 million Series B for a PMA, start sales in Europe, licensing partnership, and industrial scale-up, and try to improve the quality of life for all women in their breast cancer journey. Thank you.